So we've outlined the big decline in creativity that begins as soon as you enter the school system and continues as you age. So then the question becomes, well, what can we do to reverse the big decline? What can we do to counteract the cultural blocks? What can we do to free ourselves from the box that binds us? Well, cannabis to the rescue. Here are 3 cannabis-based strategies that can do the trick. Pattern disruption. Well, so there's structures in our brain that constrains our creativity, just like there's cultural structures in society that inhibit our creativity, like we saw with the school system. Cannabis takes us outside of the box by temporarily disrupting the habitual and linear thinking patterns. Think of the cognitive fireworks that we experience when we're high, right? I mean, it can feel chaotic, like a creative chaos, let's call it. And what's happening in your linear, logical, orderly thought patterns, what's happening is they're being temporarily disrupted, and under the right conditions, something new and exciting emerges in their place. So out of chaos and confusion emerges illumination, a different way of seeing things, a new insight or perspective. And so cannabis gives us that bird's eye perspective from which we can discern truth more clearly. It improves our vision. It allows us to separate from the herd and resist groupthink, and when we need to, ignore society's judgmental voice and sometimes our own equally critical voice, right? Intentional forgetting. Our pasts are filled with events and experiences which we've attached specific meaning and interpretation to, and sometimes recalling these memories can bring about pain and fear and anxiety. But by helping us to extinguish the burden of memory and the baggage from our pasts, cannabis can enhance our creative lives, not to mention bring comfort to PTSD survivors. So it's this idea of intentional forgetting. It's that sensation of being almost deprogrammed and transported back to square one, back to the womb, back to where it all began. Now, if you ever had that experience at a park or a beach or in the mountains where you felt restored and energized and renewed, that sense of awe and wonder, of being awakened, this is a phenomenon that occurs because, especially when we're high, because of our lapse in short-term memory. So it's almost this idea of experiencing something beautiful for the first time. And the sky opens wide for you, and for a few blissful moments, everything seems possible. And this is where surprises occur. This is where creativity and creation flourish in the moment, right? That unpredictable, unanticipated, childlike moment. Yeah, that's where you want to be. And as we age, we become experts at self-censorship, prisoners of our self-imposed boxes. Think of children. Think of the way, they have that innate ability to summon their powers of imagination and creativity. Children play for the sake of play without agenda or ulterior motive. They toy in fantasy. They act on pure instinct, inhabiting their inner world, and they do it all without regard for what you or anyone else may think of them. It's a beautiful thing. It takes motivation to get outside of the box. But with cannabis, we're able to reduce a lot of these creativity destroyers, such as self-doubt, anxiety, fear of failure. In mere seconds, cannabis can transform our mood, making us less rigid in our thinking and more receptive to new ideas. In modest amounts, Cannabis can be the apathy antidote and curiosity catalyst that we are looking for. It can help tame our ego, neutralize our critical voice, and calm our hypervigilance.